Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Flix Show. My name is Chris Wong. I've got a few DC updates for you, including 2 fan submissions. And actually, I've been seeing these 2 articles going around that people actually want me to comment on and what my take is on it. So that will be my topics for today. The first one, of course, is going to be about Doom Patrol through Season 3. It doesn't start filming yet, but someone's already training. And also, we talked a little bit about the filming of the Batman in Chicago. Then Ben Affleck returning as Batman for a standalone movie. Also, an article that went out about Justice League Reborn with new members after the Flash movie. But of course, before that, I have to thank my newest member of the Ping Pong Flix Show. Thank you so much to D Lund 87. That guy sounds familiar. Thank you so much for joining the Ping Pong Flix Show family. And thank you to all the other members of the Ping Pong Flix Show. Thank you so much for joining in. You are the lifeline of the show, and I hope you enjoy the exclusive access videos that I upload every Sunday. And of course, I have to thank the rest of the Ping Pong Flix Show family, all you subscribers, for tuning in almost every single day to check out what's next for daily DC content. But one more plug before I get on with the show. By the way, there's chapters on the bottom. If you would like to skip ahead, no problem. It's there for you. The first thing I want to share with you today is the Ping Pong Flix merchandise store. Of course, you can go down below. There's a lot of different shirts and designs below. I just want to add, these designs are my wife. She is incredible. She made some great stuff. So please go and check out some of these incredible designs. And even look, the newest one is like the Flash type theme with the Ping Pong Flix. Really cool stuff. She worked really hard on it. So if you'd like to, please support our channel by getting some merchandise for that. All right, now let's get on with the news, which is what you are definitely here for. The first thing that came out today is Joivan Wade prepping for Doom Patrol Season 3. And this is a little video he showed today. Basically, it's him boxing and training for prepping for Season 3. Now that it's official, guess I better start getting ready for Season 3 DC Doom Patrol. What's interesting about this is that, dude, you don't start filming until January 1st of next year. That's okay. It's pretty critical in this time to stay in shape, get prepped. And I'm thinking this is something that he usually does anyway, but he's still, you know, pretty pumped and hyped to go to DC Doom Patrol Season 3, which is coming out on HBO Max. Now, Season 2 was shorter than Season 1, so we're probably, I don't know if we're going to expect longer episodes or bigger episodes or more episodes in Doom Patrol Season 3, but I'm really looking forward to it. The first 2 seasons were awesome. Maybe the first one kind of was a little bit slow to, you know, get into it, and then, you know, the origin stories for that. But once it got going with that, it was a pretty entertaining, and I was really hooked on Doom Patrol. So I can't wait for Doom Patrol Season 3. The next thing up is, of course, another, it's another a fan art, but this time from a professional artist named Datrinti from Datrinti, what Aldis Hodge could look like as Hawkman. If it's like I'm trying to convince you that this guy could be a potentially good Hawkman, you may be right. Maybe I'm doing that subconsciously, but I saw this and this looks awesome. Damn, that is an awesome design. Datrinti is a master of making this stuff. This is a great design of Hawkman, Aldis Hodge as Hawkman. It's even got the logo and everything. So I guess it's just making you kind of just really kind of looking into things and saying, you know, it could be possible. This is definitely something that could really be really cool on screen. You know, let's give it a chance. Like every other casting out there that comes out, whether it's even Ben Affleck as Batman, Heath Ledger as the Joker, or even back in the day, Michael Keaton as the Batman, you know. So it really, you know, we really have to wait and see if it really works out. And I'm pretty confident, optimistic in any case, that it will definitely work out. Sam Parker Meadow had commented that in regards to his suit, it does kind of remind you of Wonder Woman's, you know, winged suit in Wonder Woman 1984. And so we're like, okay, well, I wonder if it's connected somehow. I'm not sure if it does, but just imagine that there is some connection between Thanagarians and her Amazonian, the winged armor suit in some way. Maybe in some fashion they've shared inventions or things like that, or they saw the Thanagars at one point during the history lesson or something, and they kind of capture it and they're like, okay, that was something that was before a long time ago, or even the back when, you know, Hawkman defeated Black Adam with the help of Dr. Fate. They recognize that this species, or the Thanagars, exist, and they were copying that armor because it was utilized in battle. So Sam Parkman, if you're out there, that's an awesome, a great theory, and that would actually be very cool to kind of connect to the rest of the DCEU in a way, kind of just little by little, just weaving its way into the interconnected story and behind the scenes kind of things. Even if it's mentioned for like a line or two, at least you can see like it's kind of connected to even like Wonder Woman in a way. So I like that theory, and I think that would be a pretty cool thing to happen if it's true. But in any case, the Trinity design is really awesome. All right, another winged creature we want to talk about is the Batman. The Batman is filming in Chicago. All right, so this is coming from Chicago Tribune, Chicago itself, so it must be true. Chicago is becoming Gotham City once again. Exterior scenes for the Batman, starring Robert Pattinson, will be shot mostly in the Loop area in October. Batman is returning to Chicago. Exterior scenes for the Batman will be shot here next month, mostly in the Loop area, according to the Chicago Film Office. The movie, which stars Robert Pattinson as the Tiller character, has been filming in the United Kingdom. It's unclear if the cast will be in Chicago for the brief shoot. As you know, Chicago has been the backdrop for many Batman films, including 2005's Batman Begins, The Dark Knight. It was also again in Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. Now, these exterior scenes for the Batman Chicago probably may not even have the cast in there. These could just be like establishing shots or opening shots for a certain scene, and it really won't actually have acting scenes or action scenes within it. Or it could have with using stuntmen, some, you know, just you know, crowd scenes and things like that. So we're not really sure if Robert Pattinson and the rest of the crew are actually going to fly over from the United Kingdom into the States to shoot that or not, or will they continue shooting in the United Kingdom for a lot of those scenes and just using a second unit team to go over to Chicago to film something else altogether. So that could be a possibility. So if you're in the Chicago area, don't expect to see Robert Pattinson at this moment, but maybe. You never know. We don't know what the schedule is, but in October, definitely they're going to be shooting some type of scene for the Batman. Speaking about the Batman, and this is coming from Sahib Code Awesome 28, by the way, a member, but this is actually an article from the Cheat Sheet, where in the article it says Ben Affleck will reportedly return to the DCEU for a standalone Batman movie if he gets creative control. That's the title of the article. Now, Cheat Sheet is just when I was reading this, it's just utilizing a lot of different articles from Cinema Blend, from We Got This Covered. There's a video on We Got This Covered as well, comicbook.com, in terms of the Flash. So there's many elements to put into this. It's almost like a summary of Ben Affleck returning as Batman for either Zack Snyder's Justice League or the Flash situation and things like that. So there's not much more to this than we already know or we've already speculated and talked about. But it is, in this thing at least, that their sources, I guess, are saying that, you know, the source claims that Affleck wants creative control, and that will be the only deciding factor if he agrees to return for a standalone movie. So that meaning he hasn't actually signed anything other than closing the deal on the Flash. So the insider for this site says that the current pitch is a prequel that takes place before Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, and it would most likely be made for HBO Max, just like this Zack Snyder's Justice League cut starring Ben Affleck, which, you know, hit streaming service in 2021. And that part is perks my interest a little bit, because for the most part, I think we all believe that the Batman standalone movie would have been during or after Justice League 1, right? Because the original end credits or the original ending scene would have been Deathstroke, Lex Luthor, which, you know, Zack Snyder shot, with the addition that Lex Luthor actually says that he hired Deathstroke to take care of the Batman, and that would lead into the Batman movie. So it's interesting to see that he says a prequel that takes place before BVS, and that is something I've never heard of before. But I find that really intriguing. I think there is a lot more ground to cover within that scenario, that there is some way that the Batman could be doing things on his own. He was on his own prior to BVS, and there was a lot of things, the stories that you could tell before BVS, which would make it even give you the idea that, okay, he's going on his own mission. There is no Justice League at this point. There is no Superman. It's a smaller mission. It's a smaller story, and it may be even a more personal story. And I guess it could kind of take after Justice League, that he maybe recalls something in the past and does something in the present as well, especially when he goes with Deathstroke. He must have gotten in a battle and combat with him prior to BVS as well. There's 20 plus years of history there that they could possibly explore. I don't think he's going to be a young Batman, but, you know, right before BVS could potentially be true. So I like this idea of making a prequel to BVS, and I think that's kind of a cool thing. I mean, if you watch something like Doom Patrol, they're always going back into the past. A lot of the stories, a lot of the origin stories and spin-off stories within the season is that it's either, you know, Larry Trainor going in the past or Jane going in the past, and all these characters are just finding out more about themselves as they revisit their past. And so a Batman, pre-BVS Batman story with the thought like he's in the present and thinking back in the past to when he ran into Deathstroke for the first time or something like that, could potentially be very intriguing, very awesome, and very cool, right? I'm not going to say that's not cool. That's going to be pretty damn cool if they get to do that. But I'm just saying that that's something I've never heard before. That takes place before Batman v Superman. And I do agree that it will probably go straight to HBO Max. And I also agree that he needs that creative control. If he were to return, then he would definitely need to have complete control over it, and I think HBO Max would be totally willing to give it to them. We're just waiting for Affleck to say, all right, let's do this, until we actually get some kind of announcement. And so, like I said, this is coming from a site that is not a trade. It's not from anything official like, Batflix, Ben Affleck or Warner Media or Warner Brothers. There is no press sheet for this and nothing like that. So take that for a huge grain of salt. But I thought it was interesting, and since some of you have already told me to discuss it, that's what I'm doing here. I love it. I hope he comes back. I really, really am excited to see him just do at least one more, at least finding out what he really intended when he worked on the Batman versus Deathstroke movie. And Jay Oliva was also a part of that. Jay Oliva said it was the best Batman story he's ever read, best Batman script he's ever read. And I would totally love to see that. So please, Ben, if you want to, and it's just if you want to, I'm thinking HBO Max is they're already gonna let Zack Snyder do his thing. So I think they're gonna let you do your thing, and I think you'll probably be confident enough to that you will not, your vision won't get messed with if it's on HBO Max. So I'm all up for that. I think that would be pretty awesome. And that's something that should definitely be exciting if it turns out to come to be true, right? So let's get into Justice League for a minute. Since we're talking about Ben Affleck and he's going to return in Zack Snyder's Justice League, which is awesome. I can't wait to see Ben Affleck's version of Justice League. But there was a Justice League movie that apparently a site really, really wanted. And it's a 90s Justice League movie. It's a fan trailer. So this movie never came out, but the Nerdist put this out, tweeted this out, says, sadly, we'll never get the Justice League movie we deserve. Of course, we see a lot of triggered people down and below, but when you actually click on the actual article, it's not that bad. They don't even talk about, they don't throw shade at Zack Snyder's Justice League at all. And I'm not going to play the sound because the sound is actually what gets it copyright. But this is a fan-made video from A-List Productions, and I'm not going to play the whole thing. But I wanted this back in the day. I'm not going to lie. Back in the 90s when a lot of these, potential imagining of these superheroes finally get together and things like that, I've really wanted to see a Christopher Reeve with a Michael Keaton and Linda Carter back in the day, Now, I didn't really quite think of John Wesley Shipp as the Flash as part of them, but I was thinking, yeah, why not? That would have been really, really cool to have them all together in the same movie. I thought that would have been sweet. And I don't know if they've ever thought about doing a Justice League movie back then, a 90s version of Justice League movie back then. But I thought that would be something of an icebreaker to us, kind of just accepting Justice League movies from here on out. So I'm glad someone made this, and I enjoyed the heck out of it. I understand the tweet that the Nerdist put out is not very... and I don't know if they mean any, negativity towards Zack Snyder's Justice League or not, because when you read on the top here, it says, when the DC Fandom event coming up, many fans are wondering if there will be a secret announcement for a new Justice League project of some sort, a continuation of Zack Snyder's Justice League, an animated revival. Well, here's one Justice League project that it won't be, but we desperately wish we had been a DC and YouTuber named A-List Productions created a new trailer. So hitting theaters in summer of 1993, this was going to be would have been a cool Justice League movie back in the day, and honestly I've been all for it. So obviously the tweet may have triggered a lot of people, but when you look into the context of the article, they're not trying to trigger us at all. They may be capturing on the SEO for Justice League, but I think they're just being fans, and the older fans, the nostalgic fans, we remember this stuff. We remember liking this stuff, and that would have been awesome. So it's great to see a trailer that captured that in a way that what could have been, right? A Justice League back in the 90s, right? So I love it. And if you want to see the whole trailer with the music and sound and everything, it's going to be in the link in the description below. It's called Sources, and you'll see that link, that trailer right there. All right, since we're talking about Justice League, and I said, and I kind of tricked you because I was going to go into this, but I threw in the 90s Justice League thing in here instead. This article came out quite a bit back, like a September 12th, I think, right? Justice League Reborn from the Flash film with new members. This is a Geekosity, Mikey Sutton's Geekosity scoop. Now, I didn't catch this the first time around, and some of you had brought me to this site and says, can you please cover this? So like I said, like in the Ben Affleck one, I said, okay, I'll give my take on it to see what it's all about. And like I said, like all these different articles, these are not confirmations. These aren't official. It's not from a trade. It's not from the, Warner Media or Warner Brothers. And, it's not coming from any of the actors, so on and so forth. So this is kind of still a rumor until it's actually confirmed. So anything from these sites, Green Rant, whatever, I consider it pretty much rumors until, we actually get a trade confirmation and stuff. Like Jay Oliva said, don't listen to anybody but the trades. That's what he said. So, and I'll go by that. So I'm going to read this to you, written by Mikey Sutton. He says here, the Justice League will be back in a flash. As I reported several times in the past few months, AT&T is adamant about retaining the DCEU. This, too, has been stressed by The Rock to corporate heads as his Black Adam film is set to detonate in theaters in late 2021. Aside from the Snyder Cut finally being released on HBO Max next year, the fate of the Justice League hasn't been publicly revealed. According to anonymous sources, the Justice League will be reborn in the upcoming Flash film. How the team will look remains a question mark. The Flash is played by Ezra Miller as among the returning members alongside Henry Cavill as Superman, Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, and Jason Momoa as Aquaman. Green Lantern, yet not cast, and Amber Heard as Mera will be added. Their insiders confirm. Who's missing? Although Ben Affleck will suit up again as Batman in The Flash, his future with the Justice League is murky at best. There have been discussions with him directing his Dark Knight movie for HBO Max, as he's leaked in the past. Beyond that, it's uncertain, and the Flash flick, serving as a soft reboot of the DCEU, could write him out of continuity, passing the torch to Robert Pattinson, despite reports of his upcoming Batman movie set in his own pocket universe. AT&T wants to see Pattinson and Cavill team up for a world's finest adventure, developing a much less hostile relationship than what was displayed in Dawn of Justice. Then there's Ray Fisher as Cyborg. Fisher's bitter criticism of how he was treated by director Joss Whedon on Justice League and certain Warner Brothers personnel threw doubt on his future with DC Films. However, I am told that Fisher will most likely be back as Cyborg. There has been talk of The Rock appearing in The Flash as Black Adam and Zachary Levi as Captain Marvel, albeit possibly in separate scenes, sources reveal. As for the future of the Justice League, execs are hoping both the Snyder Cut and The Flash will ignite interest in a sequel which could either be directed by Zack Snyder or Patty Jenkins of the Wonder Woman franchise. Early discussions have been in the Justice League partnering with the Justice Society in a nod to their annual summer meetings in DC Comics. Discussions continue on who else will be in the Justice League. Black Adam is not expected to be with the Justice League, as he is being developed to lead the Justice Society. That's interesting. Shazam is another matter. There's been talk of him joining as well as Blue Beetle as well. So that's interesting. That's an interesting amount of information over there. I'd like to add that the part about Zack Snyder or Patty Jenkins directing the new Justice League movie, I find that dependent on certain aspects. Like Patty Jenkins, they were talking about that. Like she said that they had once asked her about directing Justice League, and she said, I don't think she was ready. She wasn't ready for it. So that's probably where they got that from. Zack Snyder directing another Justice League beyond Zack Snyder's Justice League on HBO Max. A lot of this is dependent on the current Warner Brothers regime. And like I've said, the current Warner Brothers regime, right? They're not Snyder friendly. Okay, just they're not Snyder friendly at all. I think the current Warner Brother regime is definitely trying to kind of write that out slowly. And absolutely, they're going to try to throw in the characters that Snyder had created, in which, like Jason Momoa of Aquaman, because it did well and made over $1 billion. It's favorable. Wonder Woman, very favorable, very positive. They're going to see how the Flash goes, and they're going to try to work with that. They're going to throw in Cyborg, Ray Fisher, if everything goes well, depending on the whole controversy. And of course, Black Adam, Shazam, that's kind of safe already. But Henry Cavill also up in the air. No official announcement yet, but I mean, I feel like he is solid. He's golden because of the reps that he has, who are very, much more favorable over at Warner Brothers right now, especially with Black Adam being involved. I mean, if Black Adam's a hit, Shazam 2 is a hit. The Garcia's got a lot of power in there. They've got their hierarchy of power will change, and they'll be like, all right, well, we're gonna get our boy Superman back in, so that's gonna be good. Ben Affleck, I don't know. He seems like he's kind of done with Warner Brothers, or in a way, in terms of the cape stuff, the superhero stuff, and so the Flash may be his last thing over at Warner Brothers. So, like I said, all this news about a new Justice League coming out of the Flash. Honestly, it makes sense. Honestly, I gotta add that it makes complete sense. This is why. All right, this is why. Like Sean O'Connell, I talked to Sean O'Connell from Cineblend, and he's doing that Release the Snyder Cut book, and I've talked to him. I've had him on my show. And the one thing that he said that was really true is the fact that Justice League is a big property. It's like it's Avengers, right? It's Avengers for the DC. And there is no way that a studio like Warner Brothers will, not take the chance to make at least another Justice League movie, or try to make a Justice League movie. Warner Brothers now. I'm talking about Warner Brothers, okay? So disregard right now what's happening on HBO Max. That's by Warner Max, Warner AT&T. They're letting them do their own thing on that side. Anything that's coming on HBO Max, Warner Brothers, the studio, the execs over there, don't really have much say what's happening there. They have to lend their studio, of course, to make those projects and agree to let them make those projects. But for the most part, they're not the creative decision over on Warner Max. So Warner Max is doing that. They're making Zack Snyder's. They're giving money to Zack Snyder to make his films, or actually series. Now it's a mini series, and also maybe even other projects. Depending, I don't know. They may be giving Ben Affleck his chance to make the Batman solo movie. I don't know, but that's that side. So don't worry. Don't get triggered on anything I say about a new Justice League, because if you like the Snyderverse, it's over there on HBO Max. It's over there on HBO Max, and don't worry, they'll probably be coming on Blu-ray and everything. There's probably going to be an HBO Max in your country by the time it comes out, so don't worry about that. Zack Snyder said, don't worry about that. So Snyderverse, if that's your thing, it's over on that side. Now, DC as a whole cannot survive with just the Snyderverse. That's why Jim Lee's a factor. Jim Lee is pretty much that dude that he comes out and says, everyone, like, you don't have to like that thing, but don't worry, there's going to be something that you will like. There's going to be something for everyone, even though some parts you don't like. So he's trying to give everything. He wants every interpretation out there. He doesn't care if you like this one or not. They all exist. This is the multiverse. That's what he's trying to do. So it will work in a way for fans as well. And they understand that there's fans that don't like the Snyderverse. They understand that there's fans that like the Snyderverse. They understand fans sometimes don't like the CW, and there's fans that do like the CW. Well, they said, well, why don't we just make them all? Make them all buffet of DC, a DC buffet, right? I don't need to eat that shrimp. I want to eat that shrimp. I don't want to eat that chicken. I want that steak instead. How about give me the prime rib, but not the lobster? Something like that, right? I don't know. I get all into food all the time. That's why the hot dogs. But seriously, so for them to think about a Justice League Reborn, a new Justice League coming on the Flash movie, makes sense because this is where Warner Brothers gets to do the Justice League movie that they want to do, right? They want to make that hopeful, optimistic Justice League movie that they've always wanted to do. Well, here's your chance, and it's better. This is better this way than trying to take apart someone's movie that they've already shot. This is actually a better way, and what better way to do that is to introduce them from the Flash film. Now, it's very much like on the CW Crisis on Infinite Earths, you had this big event that includes the Flash. This, if you think about it, this could essentially be the Flash film. It's not going to be this big. It's not going to have all these different characters. At least I don't think. There's definitely a lot of cameos. There's definitely a lot of different Batmans, maybe different Supermans, you know, at this point. I don't know. But think that the Flash movie actually is going to be like the Crisis on Infinite Earths, right? Then what happened after Crisis on Infinite Earths? They had all these, they showed you that there's different multiverses and each of those universes existed. Same thing. The Flash is probably going to show you that all the other Zack Snyder's Justice League exists. You know, all the other Robert Pattinson's Batman exists. I don't know if they're going to show that, but definitely different universes exist, and they still exist and they still live on. But something forms at the end of that Flash, at the Crisis on Infinite Earths, right? And so imagine this: at the end of the Flash film, there's going to be a new Justice League, or at least alluding to a new Justice League, right? And so this is from CW Crisis on Infinite Earths. That's their Justice League. That's, you know, pretty much the CW Justice League in a way. And so I imagine that, yeah, I think the Flash film will definitely have that as well. They'll probably have a sense that, or at least alluding to the fact that, okay, this is the timeline, this is the universe that Ezra Miller's Flash is going to occupy because he's changed so many things or been through different universes, and you know, whatever that you know, comes out to, whatever he decides, whatever Warner Brothers decides, that this is the cinematic universe that they're going to follow. This is Warner Brothers cinematic universe they're going to control. They're going to delve deep their hands in. Yes, Zack Snyder probably have executive producer credit on some of those because of, as he, you know, that's pretty much his Flash. But Michael Keaton, there's been talks that Michael Keaton was a substantial role. He may be kind of a leader role from later on for future films regarding the new DC cinematic universe in the theatrical. So yeah, I see it. I can actually see that this actually might be how Warner Brothers is going to decide for themselves how that's going to happen, and which of this case this article could come true. I'm not saying officially coming true. I'm not saying that it is coming true, but just thinking about how the studio works, how their separation with the divisions, how Jim Lee thought about the multiverse, how Crisis on Infinite Earths ended, how that Flash ended, and everything. Well, the Flash season is still going on, but essentially Crisis on Infinite Earths, a new Justice League Reborn, that could happen. All the pieces are in play for that, especially with the current Warner Brothers regime. And sadly enough, yes, we'll probably only get the Snyderverse over on HBO Max. Maybe they'll have limited theatrical runs for some of those. Maybe they'll have full theatrical runs for some of those. I don't know. But for the most part, HBO Max has signed fully on the dotted line saying the Snyderverse is happening over here. But that also means that Warner Brothers gets to do their own thing over on the theatrical side, over their version of the DC Cinematic Universe. So, like I said, just prepare yourselves, because The Flash is starting to be a very big, important film. Not for just The Flash. It's more than an origin film, which I know a lot of people will probably not like that at this moment. They think that it should start with an origin film. I get that. But to me, the Flash film is Crisis on Infinite Earths. It's the part that will explode and show the general audiences all over the world that there are multiverses. For people who haven't watched CW, and there's a lot of people that go to theaters and not even watch CW at all, they're going to understand for the first time that DC has a multiverse. And Michael Keaton's Batman wasn't replaced by Ben Affleck or vice versa. they are part of a different universe and they've existed this whole time. So it's going to open the eyes of the general audiences. So that was Jim Lee's plan. He wants general audiences to open their eyes to the multiverse, especially for people who haven't checked out DC fandom at all, right? This is GA, general audiences. They're going to be like, oh my God, there is all these Superman, like, wow, there's that much Superman, there's that much Batman, there's different Flashes, whatever. And they're going to be so curious that they was like, I want to check out that universe. I want to check out that universe. I want to go to the comic book store. This is genius, really, for DC. So I think if you're a fan of all DC and, optimistic about all DC, and you love them all, the Flash film is going to be pretty big and hefty, and it's gotta do it right. I mean, it's kind of scary and kind of worries me how big this thing is probably going to be and how important this thing is in shaping the whole multiverse idea. So it's got to work. It's going to have to work. But at the same time, it's going to have to let audiences accept that there's multiple universes out there and you can pick and choose which one you want to follow. But at the same time, believe in it. Believe in DC, and this DC brand is going to take it far. And we'll definitely, I'm almost 100% sure we're going to get a new Justice League film that's probably not going to be directed by Zack Snyder. It's inevitable at this point. I think Zack Snyder, once he does his Snyderverse, once he pretty much does what he wants to envision, I'm sure he has a ton of projects that he wants to do that's out of DC and original projects that he wants to tackle as well. So once his vision's over, there's probably going to be a new Justice League movie that will come out of Warner Brothers, and it may not have the cast, or at least all the cast that you want to have to be those characters on screen. So just be prepared for that. I know it's coming, and it will come. I mean, we've gone through many Batmans before. We've gone through some Supermans before. It's inevitable at this point, and it's inevitable. So it will get there one day, and I think the Flash film will be that deciding factor to blow that multiverse wide open. So be prepared for that. All right, well, that is it for today. Like I said, if you love this daily dose of DC content from movies, shows, and video games, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, like right now, and ring that notification bell. Keep that hot dog light on, and I'll see you next time. Bye.